Hey everybody, it's Stephen here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be bringing you the 90s cartoon book tag, and I'm looking forward to do this one as a child of the 90s. I loved that time, so I can't wait to see what these questions have in store, because I haven't actually done any proper research into this and put any thought into what my answers are going to be. So this should be interesting. So without further ado, let's get into this one. Question 1. Rugrats. Find a book that is nostalgic to read. So for me, it would have to be the BFG by Roald Dahl, even though I don't actually currently own it. Now, why is this nostalgic, you could ask, if I don't own it? Well, it's because it was the first book I can remember learning to read out loud with my mother. And I remember the happiness she had when I actually managed some of the more difficult words, and I remember the happiness that it brought me. So just thinking about it is very nostalgic, and I'm sure if I was to reread this book that I'd get those same kind of feelings I'm getting now just thinking about it. So question 2. Find a book that is about growing up. The first book that comes to mind for this one, and it's probably the only book I actually own about growing up, would be If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. The book is about a main character who finds a lost, outcast girl in the woods, and he adopts her and takes her in and actually raises her as his own. And you follow her from her early age, I think about 8 is when she is first discovered, to when she's in her early 20s. So you actually see her grow up through the entire series. So it's actually quite a good book to see how somebody grows up and changes when they come to a brand new environment that is completely different to their own and are raised with different values from what they was brought up with to that point. Okay, question 3, Johnny Bravo. Find a book whose main character you don't like. Again, I can actually only think of one book that I actually own where I don't actually like the main character. And to people who love this light novel, I'm sorry. It doesn't take away from the fact this light novel is a fantastic read, and it's Spice and Wolf. I don't like Kraft Lawrence, the main character in it. I think he tends to do the same mistakes over and over again in every single book, and he falls trapped to those same problems, and to me it's frustrating, and one of the reasons I actually put the series down and I'm waiting to pick it back up again, because I just got that frustrated with him. The book itself, or the books themselves, are really good, the story is engrossing, but seeing him make those same mistakes over and over again just made him an unlikable character to me. Okay, question 4, South Park. Find a book with a questionable humour. For me, that would have to be Arifureta from Common Place to World's Strongest. It has probably some questionable humour in it, depending on your type of humour. It has a bit of everything. It's a complete Chunibyo kind of book. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Chunibyo is, if I can get my pronunciation right, it's about somebody who lives outside of reality as such. So they see everything in a fantastical world, they dress up looking very outlandish, and they believe things that aren't to be real kind of thing. And while this is a fantasy and that's a case of this, the stuff in this are real kind of thing, you can tell the person who writes it is a complete Chunibyo, and he actually admits it in his afterwards. And his humour goes to show it. You have everything in there, from just stupid things happening to complete and utter kind of... It's hard to describe, to be fair. 1 minute you can be doing slapstick humour, next minute you can be sort of doing like a really kind of toilet humour, and then there's also sexual nature kind of humour in there as well. It has a broad selection of the entire lot, and you find yourself trying to stifle laughter at the most inappropriate times, or I have done when reading this. I've been reading it aloud, I've been reading it on a bus, and I burst out into laughter at what I thought was probably an inappropriate joke, but I just couldn't help it because it's written in such a way you enjoy it. So question 5, the Powerpuff Girls. Find a book with a kick-butt female lead. So only one book comes to mind in this one, and that could be because I've actually just got book 12 through the post yesterday, and I'm picking it up once I've finished all my recording today. And that's Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life. Now, not only has this got a female lead, but all her supporting cast are female leads as well in their own right. The entire book is about a kick-ass group of women who are adventurers and trying to make their mark on the world. It has some fantastic humour in it, and it has some great learning and growth of the characters as well. So I can't recommend it enough. Question 6, Rocket Power. What is your favourite sports-centred book scene? That's actually a hard one because I don't actually have many sports-centred book themes. I'd probably have to go for No Game, No Life because that's all about gaming. The main characters are actually transported to this other dimension where everything is decided on the outcome of a game. There's no war, there's no fighting. The only way to actually gain an advantage in this one is by beating people in games. God has forbidden any other kind of conflict. So that is probably the only sport themed book that I actually own. And to be fair, that could also go with a question 4-1 of questionable humour, because the humour in that book is probably slightly worse than the one I mentioned thinking about it. So question 7, Futurama. What's your favourite sci-fi book? So for me, it's less of a book and more of a series again, and that is the Horus Heresy series from the Black Library. I can't give a specific author for this one because it actually has a number of different authors writing a number of different books. At last count, I think there's 53 or 54 books in the series. I can't remember exactly, so apologies. The series itself is about a galactic civil war amongst humanity as they're striving across the galaxy to reclaim and reunite amongst all of their lost branches. And it is a fantastic read that's based off of a hobby that I absolutely love. So if you're interested in sci-fi and a grim, dark future where there is only war, I can't recommend it enough. So if you want to see other tags like this, please visit these videos here. And if you'd like to see reviews of books I've mentioned or similar books, please go to this section here. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye for now.